We just broke this story that Stan Lee has died. Stan Lee, the Marvel Comics honcho, the guy who responsible for a ton of characters that you all know as household names now.
We should
all
say
of the
Spider-Man,
Avengers,
Black Panther, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, the
Fantastic
Avengers.
Four. It goes on and on and on. But he passed away this morning at the age of 95.
Can I just say, I just want to stop for a second. That's amazing. I mean, in this business, you get one hit this big, and you're set for life, and just in terms of creativity.
Built an empire.
Think Spider-Man, Black Panther, the Incredible Hulk.
Well, here's all you need to know.
Iron Man, the Avengers.
What he created was so impressive, so influential, and such a huge part of our culture that Disney paid $4 billion for it a few years ago. And it's worth way more than that.
This man just was incredible what he did. Anyway, he was at his home in the Hollywood Hills this morning. Paramedics were called, taken down to Cedars-Sinai Hospital nearby, where he passed. And he was 95 years old. He's had some health problems in the last year, pneumonia. Yeah. He's had eye problems. But, you know, it really is an amazing life. I spoke with his daughter, JC, just before we put the story up on the website. And, you know, she was telling me just how the first thing out of her mouth is she was really upset, obviously, but she was telling me how much Stan Lee loved his fans.
He was still up to, as long as his health would allow, was still going to all the comic book conventions.
Signings, he'd record videos, guys. I mean, that's the one thing, and JC obviously echoed it, but he always said, you know, thank you to my fans. How is everyone? I see all your tweets. I see your love. I see your support. I'm always thinking of you guys.
When I first got to LA, I went to E3, and Stan Lee was sitting there, and he signed my X-Men poster.
Oh, wow.
And I remember, I remember asking him, I was like, do you have any idea how much influence that you had over my childhood? And he went, yes. and it was just one of the best moments of my life, man. Just so many things. It's crazy. Just the guy was amazing.
You're right, Van. The influence over your child, like I had suitcases, literally suitcases filled with comic books, and I only bought Marvel comics. No offense to DC, but I was a Marvel kid.
And you know, it's interesting that, you know, Marvel was huge, is huge, but then when they started making movies, there was kind of a rocky relationship between Stan Lee and Marvel.
There was a lawsuit. He said that he hadn't been paid royalties for the first Spider-Man movie, which was enormous, and he ended up settling that for $10 million with them. And then he went on, you know, when the Disney sale went down. I don't know how much he made off of that, but you know,
when you think about it,
well deserved.
You know what's funny is you think about it is right now action movies are basically superhero movies.
Yeah.
Like the Marvel Cinematic Universe has taken over the landscape of film. All of that money, all of those billions and billions of dollars are based off what came out of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's head.
Yep.
All of that stuff, man. You think about all of those stories, decades upon decades upon decades of storytelling, and just how creative and visionary those guys had to be. Just it's amazing to think.
I will defy you to think of, you know, maybe there are, but I'm trying to think of somebody in Hollywood who has had, you know, such iconic hit after iconic hit after iconic hit like he has with these characters, because every one of them that I mentioned are just like Grand Slam World Series home runs.
Do you know why though, Harvey? Because the storytelling is so fantastic. People always talked about me when I was growing up being a comic book nerd. I had only 3,500 character comics. That has nothing to do with what Eric has. Eric is something different. But I've never met anyone like him before in my life. But like the stories were so engrossing, and they pushed your mind to the limits of what you could understand as a kid. And just all of that stuff comes from the background. You know, some of these things were social commentary. Stan Lee used the X-Men, Professor X, and Magneto as sort of how he looked at the civil rights movement, Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. And then all of those things, he was able to infuse comic books with that type of commentary. No one had done it before, and he really was truly a visionary.
Yeah. Oh, it's sad.
Hi, this is Pam from Manhattan Beach, and I wanted to talk about Stan Lee. Wow, what a legacy he leaves. The Hulk, Black Panther, his creative genius mind will live on forever. And I'm sad of his passing, but I love his legacy.
And by the way, there are several upcoming Marvel movies where we don't know yet, but Stan appeared in every single Marvel movie, had a cameo. So we don't know which ones we're going to see him in still to come.